Hey, it's Ryan with QLZ. Again, it's the home edition for today, and we're chatting with the guys in Point North. We've got Andy and we've got John here, and we've been talking about our Ohio roots to get things rolling, which I'm sure everybody in Illinois cares about. How you guys doing?
Absolutely. Hey, dude.
Doing great. How you doing, man?
Good. I'm glad you guys were able to make this work because you guys are on tour right now. You're out with Atreyu,
Yes,
Atreyu
sir.
headlining this, and you guys been out, I think, about a week right now. So how have things been so far?
Yes, sir. This tour has been a blast, man. We're, long time Atreyu fans, and it's just been so fun to share the stage with them and share the road with them. And, the first routing shows have been great. We've gotten to play. We played golf in Las Vegas yesterday, and we played golf
Nice.
in Seattle earlier this week. And so we've hit a lot of our favorite markets so far. So it's really good to see, familiar faces with our fan base and stuff. And so it's been a lot of fun so far.
I know. I interviewed Brandon, I think about a couple weeks ago, and was talking about you guys a little bit often. First time I saw them was like 2008. They're on Lincoln Park's Project Revolution tour, and then I saw them again like 2021. So it was like 13 years between seeing them. So had you guys seen them before actually going out with them, or no?
Yeah, I saw them. I've got you beat by 1 year, but my sister and I went to Taste of Chaos in 2007.
Okay.
And we went to see Thrice and As I Lay Dying were like my two favorite bands at the time.
Nice.
And I remember Atreyu played, and it was like the first time I had seen Dan with his blood splatter guitar and his headband. And that was like such a pivotal moment for me as a 14-year-old at the time. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe I was 22 when I saw them in 08. Now, when you saw them in 07, I brought this up to Brandon, and he doesn't remember it fully, but they had a Donkey Kong puppet on stage. Did you remember if they had that in 07 or not?
As like the biggest metalcore and Nintendo fan in 2007, I definitely would have remembered that. So I cannot confirm that.
All right.
Yeah.
I think I have a photo of it somewhere on my Facebook, like deep down, some photo that was taken on my shitty digital camera somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Please bring that up, because that is amazing to hear.
Awesome. All right. Yeah. Awesome. You guys have the new song out right now. It's Safe and Sound. We just added it this week on QLZ. We're doing an artist spotlight feature on it as well. I do mornings, so we do that next Friday, the 12th. It's in rotation right now. You guys, we're playing the version with the ghost inside.
Nice.
Yeah.
That means so much to us. It really does.
You figures you guys worked with them on this. It only kind of makes sense to give them their love on this too.
Of course.
Yeah, here, let me see this. So yeah, we want this song. I mean, like, we take this stuff so seriously, and we're so passionate about like making music and making the art. And but we also, we want the things to succeed. And so, there are, just like any other songs, there's like radio edits and stuff to so certain stations can play, and we want everybody to like be happy with what they're playing and stuff. Yeah. So you're not the first to say that you're playing the one with Vigil's vocals, and it's very, very sick that people are down for the heaviness out there on the airwaves. So we appreciate that a lot.
Yeah. So how the collaboration come up between you guys? Did you know each other before, or how'd this all come together?
Yeah. So we conceptualized the song with Zero and No Love for the Middle Child. There's two others. So 0936, he's like a big rock artist, and No Love is an artist as well. We kind of conceptualized the instrumental together at my studio, and the song, we were just talking about how it just changed like 3 or 4 times, different chorus, different tempos, different feels, different whatever sections and stuff. And so the song eventually got like wrapped up, and the production fully came together with our friend Kyle Black, who is an awesome producer out in Los Angeles. So we put our heads together and kind of took it over the finish line. And then Neil from A Day to Remember actually wrote the breakdown in the bridge.
Okay.
So that was something where I don't really know, because I never really talked to them. I think they knew about Point North. Was this before the tour? Was it before? It was right before. It's like right before the tour. Okay. So we didn't like know them yet, but we toured The Day to Remember in 2021. So yeah, so I just shot like Neil a DM, and he was down to write on it, and then I was like, this would be crazy to have some heavy vocals on this. Yep. And then the Ghost Inside were kind of I don't want to call it a comeback, you know what I mean? But they were writing new music, they were hitting the road again, and we've been lifetime fans of the Ghost Inside. They're from at least my hometown. They're from El Segundo, which is where I grew up.
Okay.
and they were like a little older, so we never went to high school together. But we would walk home and we would see them unloading their van, and everybody be like, "Oh, be cool, it's Ghost Inside." But yeah, back when they were a dying dream and they would be playing the teen center shows and stuff, we would go to. So we've been fans, I mean, for over 15 years, like a long time. And so yeah, I just literally DM'd Vigil on Instagram. I've met him a few times. Like we had some of the same friend groups growing up in the South Bay. And so I think he knew who I was. And I was just like, dude, it'd be really cool. Let's hold it down for the South Bay. And like, do you want to hop on this song? And he was like pretty instantly down. I was like really pleasantly surprised of how interested he was and how he crushed it. Like Andrew, their drummer, I think just recorded like at his studio. And then eventually the boys came out to my studio and we did some writing days with the Ghost Inside. But yeah, it kind of just came together. The stars aligned. It's really tough to get features just because of all the hoops to jump through logistically. So when it worked out, it was super rewarding. So it was just, literally just a DM.
Yeah, sliding in the DMs worked in this case. It usually isn't good advice for a lot of people, but in this case, it was.
For sure. Well, we had a couple ins. We knew Jim too, and so we were like, I would hit up Vigil, and then we'd be like, "Hey, Jim, could you just ask Vigil to check his DMs?"
we have absolutely slid into DMs before and have been left on red. So it's probably a 50% success rate.
Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. 50-50, that's not bad.
50-50 is not bad, and then when it works out, it really works out.
Yeah, dude, the video for the song is awesome as well. Check it out this week. Now, were you guys hockey players growing up at all, or did you guys like ice skating?
Because I was.
Okay.
The boys aren't. Boys they learned how to skate that morning. It was really funny. but I know Vigil is, and Vigil's been like a hockey fan his whole life. He plays hockey. I play hockey. I've been a fan my whole life. And I was like, dude, we gotta like have an epic hockey video. Yeah. And then it just made so much sense to me. And
not a lot of people know this, but I think El Segundo, like out of the beach cities that we're all from, had like the only indoor ice rink. So most of the El Segundo kids were hockey fans. And then us in Manhattan Beach, we were like the volleyball player and basketball players. So yeah, that was like John's lifetime goal to have a music video with hockey. And that was probably the 4th time I've ever put on skates.
Okay. So it was really good for John. You guys got the fight going at the end. You busted out the Mighty Ducks with the stick and the gloves. Can't remember if anybody grabs any jerseys or shirts or anything, but you guys channeled the inner fighting of the Mighty Ducks as well, which is cool.
God, that was the most fun scene to shoot, because we had dudes that were accidentally getting clocked in the eye. He's like, dude, you got my eyes. I started to turn all black, and then people are falling over, and it was like, because it's like in the video it's slow motion, so it looks all epic, right? But if you were there, it's just a bunch of dudes falling.
The guy who's playing the referee, it's like a few times I'm like, dude, the ref is just, he's all in this shit. He might have gotten clocked a few times.
We don't even like know who that was.
No, that's my boy Taylor. Shout out to Taylor. We needed like 4 extra skaters for this video, and I literally hit up the 2 people that I knew, and they both showed up. So shout out to Taylor and Joe for making that video.
We crushed it. And then I put out the feelers too. Like I had a buddy from the South Bay that I knew played. I was like, hey, do you want to come get some free stick time? And so I was like, but you got to be there at like 6:30 in the morning in the valley.
Okay.
But it was great.
I'm awake by 4:30 in the morning, so I hear 6:30 because I've been doing mornings. I hear 6:30 now. I'm like, oh my God, I don't even sleep till 6:30 anymore.
That's crazy.
I know. It's wild how like quickly you change your schedule with things. So what's the rest of the summer look like for you guys when it comes to new music? I know you guys have, I think a few more weeks here with Atreyu. What's it like? What do you guys want to do with music release? Obviously, Safe and Sound just came out, a couple months ago, but what? We know how everybody is in this industry, man. What do you guys want to release music wise?
We got some stuff coming. We have the next single should be the album announcement.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. But that's coming in the next 2 months.
I think that's next month.
Next month.
Okay.
Finishing up the tour with Atreyu. We're hopping off before the tour ends. We're not playing the last 2 shows because we're flying to Florida to do Rockville, and then we're going to Columbus to do Sonic Temple. So we have a couple festivals at the end of the month. So it's pretty busy. Oh my God, these last 2 months have been insane. Between finishing the album, the tour prep, and festivals and logistics. And then the rest of the year, It's releasing music. It's shooting music videos. We have another tour coming up in the fall.
Okay.
And then, the album should be dropping in August, kind of like with that fall tour.
Okay. And you guys can't release the album title or anything that's not out yet, right? Or no?
I don't care. I'll tell you
Oh,
the
you don't
album
care? All right.
title.
What's the
Wow,
album title, guys?
this is world premiere. This is
World
world
premiere.
premiere of album title. John, what is it called?
The album is called Prepare for Despair.
All right.
And it's pretty awesome. We have my cousin does all of our artwork, and she just sent us like one of the final versions of what it looks like, and it's just bananas. It's just like the coolest album cover ever, I think. And the songs are there, and we locked into a rhythm and somewhat of a formula, and really figured out this kind of style and sound and vibe. And it took a long time. We've been working on this album for over a year, so it's been a lot of work in the making, but it's going to be very exciting when it comes out.
Awesome. We'll get in August. Prepare for Despair. World
That's
premiere.
right.
I think Andy just feels bad for me because he said Aaron Rodgers got traded last week. So I think Andy's kind of like, let's get your spirits up, man. Let's get them up. So I appreciate it.
You heard it here first on Real Rock.
You heard it here first on Real Rock 97.7 QLZ in my little 2-bedroom house I've got here. With you guys, being out on tour right now, a couple questions for you guys.
Sure.
As well, where do you guys like to stop on the road when you're out touring? Good places to stop. Maybe, hey, this place has a really clean bathroom, or hey, we see some really weird stuff every time we stop here. Where do you guys like to stop on the road? Oh, man, he's got one.
Yeah. So, I mean, our number two our top two destinations are places to eat and places to golf. So when it comes to Texas and you're talking about, gas stations and such, obviously Buc-ee's is top of the list. Which is so funny because I remember going to Buc-ee's in 2019 for the first time and like still being as excited today as I was back then. So Buc-ee's is great, and yeah, we're kind of always looking for new places to golf and new places to eat. So we're definitely always, going through our phones, trying to find, when the best time to sneak in around is. Yesterday we played in Vegas at twilight, which was really cool. We snuck in around in Seattle before the show started. So sometimes we're getting out there, 5:30, 6 in the morning to try and sneak before the show. And so that's been fun. So definitely lots of eating and lots of golfing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Food is, we are foodies. Like I'm like every city we go in, I'm yelping like what's like the sweet freaking bistro or what do they call gastropubs or something like that, like any kind of good seafood spots. It's really cool just to take advantage of touring and just it's really easy to just like go through the motions and just tour, and then you get home and you just played a bunch of shows, which is like awesome. But when you can do things like see the pretty sides of the country and go see the nice golf courses and go eat the good foods, it makes it all like a really nice all-encompassing experience, so we try to keep the morale high that way.
Yeah, taking everything that every city has to offer. It's the whole reason of kind of like what people like me go on vacation. Like you're not going to go on vacation and hit up, a place that you can go, I can go 5 minutes down the road.
Totally. And at the end of the day, like this is like a childhood dream of ours and everyone else's that's out here. And if we're not having a good time, like it's kind of like, what are we doing? So having those little moments make the whole thing worth it. The shows are incredible. We love playing the shows. But we're out here just trying to have like the time of our lives while we still can,
Yeah, you might as well. I mean, I'm sure you guys have tons of touring coming up. You'd have a lot of opportunities for things as well. And I'm glad you guys mentioned that you're making a full-length record here, because I still have a CD player in my car. I love buying albums and CDs and everything still.
Hell yeah.
And I can't remember if I had you guys, I don't know if you guys were part of this at my last job that I had up in Wausau, but I did a thing called Favorite Fives, and I was asking bands their favorite complete albums of all time.
Oh.
The albums from start to finish where you don't skip one song on. You just put the album on and you let the whole thing play. You don't let anybody change anything.
Let me go first because I feel like you're going to top mine. Do you want to? Okay. Okay.
You guys can rock, paper, scissors for it if you really want to see who else.
It's all good. I can give you 3.
That's fine. Yeah.
I'll try 5. I will take Hybrid Theory front to back.
Yep.
That is my number 1 album. I got that when I was 10 years old on CD, and it changed my life. And I listen to it all the time. Not funny enough, very deserving. But Rise or Die Trying by 4 Year Strong was a front to back album for me for literal years. Like never left my car. I had a third one. God, that's a really tough one now that I'm getting to like that's the top two.
Yeah,
Let me pass it to Andy and let me think for a sec. But here's
that
Andy's, because I know that I could probably tell you Andy's.
All right.
You probably could. I'm like so scientific with this, and I've honestly listened to these same albums for like my entire life. Number one probably is gonna have to be Green Day's American Idiot, just because
That's my number 3.
I learned how to play guitar to that record. So it'll always just be like that was the transformation of me into a musician, into a guitarist. That's just in terms of like the influence it had on me. Rise Against is my favorite band, so I will say that their album Revolutions Per Minute is definitely up there for me too. Hybrid Theory, I would probably have to put in my top 5. That was another thing where just at that age, I got that record for Christmas, and nothing was ever the same after that. And then I'm gonna have to say probably Blink-182's Enema of the State, just because I put that up there with albums that I learned guitar to and just know how to play like the back of my hand. And then I will round it off with AFI's Sing the Sorrow, which is just those like the Girls Not Gray music video is just something that I remember seeing for the first time. I was just like, who is this band? What is this sound? My older sister Melissa was listening to them at the time, so she kind of got the chance to take me to the AFI shows and Rise Against shows when I was younger and stuff too. And those are all still my favorite bands to this day. So yeah, the records that, you know, shaped me into a musician, and the records that I was getting, you know, in my early teenagehood that really showed me like, wow, this is what a punk song is, or this is what, you know, a darker AFI song is. And that's what kind of gave me the chops and the direction to be like artistic now. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm with you guys with Hybrid Theory. I think I was 13. I think I was 13 when that album came out. And still, I had to buy a second copy of it like 4 years ago because my older one got so scratched up from either playing it at my jobs in high school or, you know, going in and out of the CD player so many times. I'm like, oh shit, this is skipping. Let me go spend $5 and go get another copy of it.
Yeah. Dude, totally. It's funny as Andy's like talking about those things, like it's a trip, because I really do think that Fury and the Fallen Ones by the Ghost Inside is like in my top 5, like front to back, like love every piece of that album. And it's just crazy because they're just like the boys and they're on our song now. And I know that sounds weird because that's all happening now, but like that literally didn't leave my CD player for it. I remember seeing the picture of their old guitar player like holding a cake with the artwork when that came out. I remember being in English class in high school, and it was like, yeah, they changed their name to the Ghost Inside, and like this new album's called Fury and the Fallen Ones, and now it's just like this is incredible. And so it's just trippy. And then like in the same vein, like literally Homesick by A Day to Remember is like gotta be like one of my favorite albums of all time also. And I'm just like a huge like fan of that band, but that album also was like I constantly listened to it like over and over again. I just like dissecting like the melodies and the harmonies and everything, and like the musicianship and what they would do and stuff. And so it's just like we got to tour with them too. It's just like it just sounds weird that like we're touring with these people, and I don't want to sound cocky or anything, but it's like these are some of my favorite albums of all time, and we're just lucky enough to be working at some capacity with these people, you know, and they're heroes of ours for sure. And I will agree that American Idiot, for sure, I was in 8th grade and also learned those songs on guitar, and that was a big influence as well. So I think that's 5 or more than 5, but yeah.
Hey, if it's more than 5 or less than 5, it's good. It was more of a blog post. It started out as that at my last gig, and it was just, hey, you know, write out 5 and, you know, have some time to think about it. And it was like the last couple of weeks, you know, I tried it out in some bands. I'm like, let's see how this does. And everybody was pretty receptive to it and seemed to get excited about it, because you can kind of see the wheels turning with everybody. Where
it's a tough question, right? Because if you only have 5, and it's like we live in such a weird influence by arts, you know, I have to also throw in Does This Look Infected by Sum 41. I think that's also an album front to back that gave me a lot of chops.
Yeah, no, it's a good one. So again, man, you guys are out right now with Atreyu out on the road. A couple more weeks of the show. You guys have Welcome to Rockville. You guys have Sonic Temple. New album coming out, which we broke out the news. It's going to be out in August. We got the Prepare for Despairs coming out in August. Work at socials, website, get merch, get all that stuff.
Socials is everything is at Point North Bands, just across the board for everybody, for everything. And you can get merch on our Spotify now, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, pointnorthband.com. If you go to our Spotify, we have, I think it's called Shopify, which you can find our merch and tour dates on. So yeah, that's where you can find us. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, everything at Point North Bands. And yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Safe and Sound. It's the single out right now. We just got it spinning on QLZ this week. Artist Spotlight as well, to give it a little bit more love on the 12th at 8:30 in the morning. I don't know what time zone you guys will be at that point, but we're going to have it on. It's going to be spinning on QLZ. So, man, I appreciate you guys taking the time.
Oh, we appreciate you for having us. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you for spinning it and showing us love. This is like, the first kind of taste of this world that we're getting. So we really, really appreciate it. So thank you, man.
Happy to